Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is presentation number 002 of the present series. Innal hamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayh wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Now this will be an introduction to the shaitan. Before we proceed on this directly, let us first differentiate between angels, jinn and mankind. Angels were created out of pure light. Their only purpose is to do dhikr of Allah, praise Him and obey all His orders. They have absolutely no choice. The jinn were created from smokeless fire. Surah Rahman, Surah number 55, Ayah number 15 mentions, and the jinn did He create from a smokeless flame of fire. The jinn were created from fire, so also the shaitan. Now, what are the specialities of the jinn as compared to other creations? The jinn are not visible to human. Human beings don't have the ability to see the jinns. The jinns are accountable and have a free will, just like humans. They are created from fire, which is different from humans. They have an existence of their own. We can occupy a place where the jinn are. They do not look like humans at all. They may be able to take the shape of humans, but the original state is that they have an existence of their own. They have abilities which we don't have. Humans can walk and crawl. In addition to this, the jinn can fly. So they can fly, walk and crawl, and their abilities to move are much more quicker from one place to another than any of the other creation, except the angels. Now, when were the jinn created? We don't have an exact date, but one we are sure of is that they were created much before Adam alayhi salam. Surah number 15, Al-Hijr, ayah number 26 and 27 mentions, and indeed we created man from sounding clay of altered black smooth mud, and the jinn we created aforetime from the smokeless flame of fire. Aforetime is much before. Now you may ask how much before? The answer is Allah knows best. Now the word jinn comes from the root word jannah, which means to conceal, to cover. One of the ayahs in the Quran, Suratul An'am, Surah number 6, ayah 76, gives a mention of this, the use of the word jannah. When the night jannah, that means jannah alayhi layl, covered him over with darkness. He saw a star. He said, "This is my Lord." But when it set, he said, "I like not those that set." The fetus is called janeen. Someone who has lost his sanity is called majnoon. And one more thing, paradise is called Jannah because it is concealed from us. So, as I said earlier, the jinn have their world of their own. There are three types of jinn basically. Again in Surah 72, the name is Suratul Jinn, ayah number 11. It is mentioned that there are among us some that are righteous, some the contrary. We are groups, each having a different way. Different way means religions, sects, etc. The word shayateen is that group of jinns who are persistently arrogant and rebellious. They are evil. They call to misguidance and disobedience of Allah and obedience of the shaitan. That is to follow and support the shaitan. Another name of shaitan is Iblis. The next set of jinns are Salihun, those that are pious among the jinn and believers who obey Allah. The third category is neither shayateen nor salihun. They may be sinful, but they haven't reached the level of the shaitan. Now, the creation of mankind. Adam alayhi salam was created from clay, and his spouse was created from the rib of Adam. Our origin is clay, but we are not actually clay. More details will be given as we proceed, inshallah. Now, let us go to the name of shaitan. The root word in Arabic from which this name has been taken is shatata. Now, from that, if you take the word shatta'an, which in Arabic means deviate from. Another word that can be formed with this root is shata. Shata is to burn or to be burned, or someone who is extremely angry. Another usage of this verb is in the word shatana. Shatana means to be far away from something. Shaitan is far away from goodness, and he is very far away from the mercy of Allah. Now, shaitan fits into all the above categories. The plural of shaitan is shayateen, which is a general term used for the followers of the shaitan. What are the other names of shaitan? One of the most common names is Iblis. Allah uses the word Iblis in the story of shaitan, and it has been mentioned 11 times in the Quran. Another word is Ablasa. Ablasa is one who has lost all hope and who has despaired in the mercy of Allah. Another word used is At-Taghut. Taghut is anyone who is worshipped other than Allah. One who is called to worship the shaitan. For example, Fir'aun was a Taghut. People worshipped him, and he called on them to worship him. So the main Taghut is the shaitan. Now, just a small question. The Christians worship Isa alayhi salam. But can you call Isa alayhi salam Taghut? Na'udhu billah? No. Even though the people worship Isa alayhi salam, he did not tell them to worship him. Let us try to understand this difference. Another name for the shaitan is Ar-Rajim. Rajim is one who has been cast out, one who has been thrown out. Like if you take a stone and with anger you try to throw it as far away from you as possible, that is called Rajam, to throw, to cast out. Shaitan was cast out from Jannah. He was thrown out of Jannah. Not told to politely go, but he was kicked out basically. Again, Surah Nahl, Surah number 16, Ayah 98 mentions, so when you want to recite the Quran, seek refuge with Allah from shaitan, the rajim, the outcast. Another term used is khareen. Khareen is the shaitan that lives in the self, that lives in the bodies of humans. We'll go into details of this a little later as we proceed. The other name is Khinzib, which is a particular category of the shayateen. In the Quran, this word shaitan is used in 3 different forms. The first form is shaitan, which refers to the shaitan himself as the leader. This has been mentioned 68 times in the Quran. Then again it has been referred to shaitan as our enemy. The tricks of shaitan, the deceptions of the shaitan, and the one who harms us. Then the specific word ash-shaitan, the shaitan, is also used in the Quran. What is the main goal of the shaitan? Surah number 2, Al-Baqarah, ayah number 257, a part of that reads, "But as for those who disbelieve, their awliya, supporters, helpers, are taghut, that is the false deities and the false leaders. They bring them out from light into darkness. Those are the dwellers of the fire, and they will abide therein forever." So the shaitan's main goal is to take us away from the light into darkness. May Allah save us from the tricks of the shaitan and get us closer to Allah. Now, what is the origin of the shaitan? A few questions. Is he real, or is it just a concept that we have made on our own? Is it an idea to sort of rationalize bad thoughts, or is it a metaphor that is used for bad behavior? The answer is he is an actual being created by Allah. Okay, now due to his acts of worship earlier, he was kept among the angels in Jannah. So try to imagine his extent of worship that Allah granted him this status. Some of the religions believe that he was a fallen angel. Was he an angel initially, and just because he disobeyed Allah that he was made into a jinn? This you will find in the Jewish and Christian theology. Islam clearly declares that he is a jinn. He is a jinn, was a jinn, and will continue to be a jinn. Surah Al-Kahf, Surah number 18, ayah 50 mentions, "And remember when we said to the angels, prostrate to Adam, so they all prostrated except Iblis. He was one of the jinns. He disobeyed the command of his Lord." Now, there are certain misconceptions among Muslims, especially in the portion where Allah asked the angels to prostrate. Shaitan, let us remind ourselves and also understand that Shaitan was from the angels with respect to his deeds, which is similar to the angels in terms of his obedience and worship to Allah. It is only there that it stops. It is not with respect to his origin and not with respect to him being the same nature as the angels. Okay. The next question arises, is Iblis the father of jinn? Just like Adam alayhi salam was the father of mankind. Again, let's go to Surah Kahf, Surah number 18, ayah numbers 50 and 51. Continuation of ayah 50. "Will you take him and his descendants as allies other than me when they are your enemies? I," this is Allah referring to himself, "made them," Iblis and his offspring, "not to witness the creation of the heavens and the earth, and not their own creation. Nor was I," referring to Allah, "to take the misleaders as helpers." So there's no Shaitan is not a father, but amongst the earlier jinn, he gained notoriety because of his sin. Now, if so, does it mean that all the jinns are our enemies? No. We have learnt earlier that there are 3 types of jinns. So it is impossible to say that Iblis is the father of all the jinn. Now, Zurriya, which is mentioned in the Quran related to jinn, does not necessarily mean the children of the jinn. It refers to the progeny, not the followers also are included in this. Allah knows best. Now, where did this enemy begin? Where did this enmity begin between the shaitan and mankind? At that time, before mankind was created, there were two creations. The angels who had no free will and the jinn who had free will. The story of shaitan, also referred to as Iblis, he was considered as one of the most pious jinn. His piety had reached to such a high level that Allah had honored him by bringing him to live amongst the angels and worship Allah. He remained like that for a very long period of time until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to create Adam. Initially, only the body, that is the structure of Adam alayhi salam, was created and left in that manner for a period of time. Now the question is asked, why was Adam alayhi salam created at that time in the context of shaitan? One of the reasons of creation of Adam is as a test to Iblis. If he is worshipping Allah to such an extent and he is so great in his worship, now Allah tests him by creating Adam. Now will he continue to be the worshipper of Allah based on what Allah has created? The closer one is to Allah, the more he or she will be tested. This is a very big lesson that we have to learn. Inshallah, we will continue in the next talk, and we will complete with the dua as usual. Allahumma inna nas'aluka imanan mustaqima wa fadlan da'ima wa nazarar rahma wa ilman nafi'ah wa aqlan kamila wa qalban munawwara wa tawfiqan ihsana wa tawbatan nasuha wa sabran jamila wa ajran azima wa lisanan dhakira wa badnan sabira wa rizqan wasi'ah wa sa'yan mashkura wa zamban maghfura wa amalan maqbula wa du'aan mustajaba wa jannatul firdausi na'ima birahmatika ya arhamur rahimin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.